A retired cop sits in a Tennessee jail cell today facing a $2 million bond. His crime? Quoting the President of the United States on Facebook. Right now in Perry County, a 61-year-old man is behind bars for something you probably did this week, sharing a political meme online. And he'll stay there until December. Larry Bushart has been in jail since September 22nd on the charges of threatening mass violence at a school, after posting a Facebook meme that quoted Donald Trump's actual response to a school shooting. The 61-year-old retired law enforcement officer faces a $2 million bond and won't have a hearing until December 4th. And there's even booking footage showing Bushart being processed that night, handcuffed, silent, and clearly stunned. Let's take a look at the clip.
This is what they charged him with.
Okay.
Threatening mass violence at a school.
At a school?
It's referring to a school. I have no idea.
I know,
That's what they've called us for, and I ain't got a clue.
I played on Facebook. I threatened no one. I know you don't give a
I ain't got a clue. I just had to do what I had to do.
I've been in Facebook.
I'm not saying you did or didn't do anything.
No, I did do, but I don't think you committed a crime.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you did or did not commit a crime.
I may have been an asshole, but I'm
That's not illegal.
If you're not familiar with the story, Bushart posted a meme featuring Trump's direct quote, which was, "We have to get over it," which the president actually said after the 2024 Iowa school shooting in Perry. I'll put it up on the screen. And he posted it with the caption, "Seems relevant today." Perry County Sheriff Nick Weems claims the post made people think it referenced the local Perry High School in Tennessee and caused concern amongst teachers, parents, and students. And here's where it gets even weirder. An investigation by the Intercept found zero evidence anyone actually ever complained. When attorneys filed open records requests for any communications about threats or concerns, the school district stated that they had no records related to the case, saying the sheriff's department handled the situation. So then legal experts suggested that the charges will likely be dropped and Bushart would have grounds for a substantial civil lawsuit against Sheriff Weems in Perry County. But this won't be until his December hearing, and at that point, he'll have spent approximately 10 weeks in jail. And the settlements can't get that time back. His son, Taylor, who I spoke with briefly, also posted this to Instagram. He posted this to his own Instagram saying, his son here, "We feel this is an egregious violation of his First Amendment rights and can only hope justice will prevail. Larry has been very outspoken in his community as his historic support for more stringent gun control is well known." His posts here highlights the hypocrisy in honoring Charlie Kirk while ignoring other traffic incidents of mass violence And in America, political speech, even harsh or tasteless speech, is protected, unless it's a true threat or incitement to immediate violence. Bushart's post was clearly neither. He posted a meme. It wasn't a threat or a call for violence. And now he's sitting in jail on a $2 million bond. That's completely unheard of and very unprecedented. This case blurs the line between offensive online speech and actual criminal threats. The meme referenced a shooting in Iowa, not anything local. There's no evidence it caused panic or mass hysteria. Yet local authorities treated it as if he threatened a Tennessee school. Now, that's not how First Amendment rights are designed to work or should work. The law is clear. Unless speech shows a serious intent to commit violence, a true threat, or is meant to provoke immediate unlawful action or incitement of thereof, it's protected. A political meme doesn't even come close to either of these. If this kind of prosecution stands, it means anyone could be arrested for a misunderstood post or sarcastic comment or a dark joke online, depending on how local officials decide to interpret it. And that's deeply concerning because it turns free expression into potential crime. In a democracy, the government's job is to protect your right to speak, even when your words are unpopular or offensive. But in authoritarian systems, vague safety or public order laws are used to punish people for speech that challenges authority. Citizens learn to stay silent, afraid one could post the wrong thing and that could land them in jail. And that's exactly what makes this case so troubling. A retired officer now has spent more than a month in jail with no threat, no weapon, and no intent to harm. Simply, he's sitting there for posting a meme, which is something you'd expect to see in Russia, Venezuela, China, or countries with authoritarian governments. Under Tennessee law, Bushart would have to pay at least $210,000 to get out of jail. Under wild conditions, although his defense attorney has filed a motion asking General Sessions Judge Katrina Moore to reduce his bail on the grounds that he is not a flight risk and does not pose a threat to the community. A hearing on the motion was reset at the prosecutor's request. Bushart's next court date is not scheduled to take place again until December 4th. You could frame it like this. While this arrest was carried out by local Tennessee authorities, it's a clear pattern of escalating crackdowns on speech that's been directly encouraged by Trump and his administration. After Kirk's death, J.D. Vance publicly urged Americans to report people to their employers for social media posts. The Pentagon investigated 300 employees, the State Department revoked visas, and people across the country were fired or suspended for their posts. This created an environment where local officials felt empowered, even obligated to aggressively enforce and act against political speech that they don't like. The sheriff in this case was enforcing a state law, but he's doing it in a climate where federal government has made it clear that dissent, especially dissent around Kirk's death, should be punished. Trump and his administration didn't need to directly order this arrest. They set the tone that made the sheriffs like Weem feel justified in throwing somebody in jail over a meme with a $2 million bond. Basically, Trump created the permission structure, the cultural and political environment where this kind of authoritarian overreach at the local level feels not just acceptable, but righteous. And really, this is an attack on the First Amendment. A man is sitting in jail for literally quoting the President of the United States. If accurately citing what public figures can say can land you behind bars, then free speech is effectively dead. No actual crime occurred. There's zero evidence that anyone was even threatened or concerned. The sheriff manufactured a fake crisis that didn't exist. Yet a man is still sitting in jail for months, and he's doing it anyway. We're seeing weaponized law enforcement. A sheriff used his badge to punish speech he personally didn't like. That $2 million bond in the delayed hearing, it looks pretty deliberate to me. It looks like deliberate punishment. And there's not even been a trial yet. There's no due process here. Bushart has been in jail for over a month with no hearing until December. He's held on an absurdly high bond for a threat that never existed. It's starting to really look like political imprisonment. Think about the precedent this sets. If this stands, any sheriff could jail anyone for posting memes, sharing a news article, or making political statements that they find objectionable. Your freedom would depend entirely on whether your local law enforcement and authorities see it as a threat, how corrupt or how MAGA your local officials are, and if they like what you say or post or share online. And this can happen to anyone. Bushart was a former cop himself, a retired police officer, corrections officer, and a sheriff's deputy. If law enforcement will do this to one of their own over a Facebook post, then no citizen is safe from politically motivated arrests. And if you've enjoyed this video, please take a moment to subscribe. I will be back with more. And if you've made it this far, I want to hear what you want to hear more of from me next. We're going to be filming a lot more videos, and I want to make sure we're talking about things that you care about. So